Hello and welcome to the Power Rankings after week 3. So, we will start with the Commish's number 16.
Yes, well, and again, I don't want you to cheat off my notes as I said these are going to be surprises, but this is based off of everything that's happened in the first 3 weeks. My number 6 ranked team is 5 Swords.
I can see that.
Still in the playoffs. I still think he's right now. However, I will tell you this, I have him trending down.
Wow, yeah.
So 6 and dropping. How about yourself?
I actually have Alaska Glaciers at number 6. I think he's underachieved so far. He should make it. I think a lot of it has to do with weather. I think in the next month or so he'll start making a move up. But where he is right now, I got to give him the number 6 seed.
Interesting. Okay, moving up the ladder. My number 5 team is, and I'm trying to even think of what his team name is because he changes it every single season. Pine Tree Lane.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is, whether that's his address or if that's the street that like Dawson's Creek lived on when he used to watch that show or something like that. I don't know. Number 5, a lot of young guys.
Yeah.
Inconsistent. Starting pitching, which is normally his strength, hasn't been that strong. And I have him flatlining at a number 5 and holding in that spot.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can see that. I actually have your number 5 and number 6 are not on my top 6 right now.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I actually have at number 5 Zips. That's where I have. He, as usual, as what he usually does, he's better than what it looks like on paper. He ran into a really rough week last week because Global Gem's pitching was so great. So I didn't want to just ignore Zips completely. So I have him at the number 5
Interesting.
slot.
I actually dropped Zips out of my top 6 as
You don't like his offense, is what you're
I'm
saying.
foreshadowing that that's going to be the offensive trend. So he's going to be splitting the pitching categories and not winning any offensive categories.
Okay.
Number 4 might surprise you. I actually have myself as a number 4 team.
Okay. Okay.
As far as strategy goes, not turning out the way I'm hoping it to be. I did get a glimpse of what my pitching can do
Yeah.
when I have the guys that I have. I'm still struggling in some of the offensive categories, which I didn't think I was going to be doing. But I would say that I am a team, and this is a prediction, that is not going to get blown out at all in a matchup.
Yeah. No, I would agree with
I think my team is too good and too consistently even all around the board to get blown out.
Yeah, I think that's true. My number 4 is actually myself, Bear Bashers. I have me at number 4 because I look at the week 2 matchup that I had, and I guess I beat you, correct?
Correct, with a complete game shutout.
Right. I beat you 9-8, and I feel like, again, if you look at all the stats, either you or I would have beat everybody else pretty soundly. We had a very good,
Yes,
you know what I mean, the actual week, we did really well.
Yes, our totals were phenomenal. It just
Right.
was
Yeah.
unlucky that we were playing each other.
Right. And my week 3 matchup, even though I had the really big win, and obviously I'm in first place right now, I think that had more to do with 5 Swords than it did me. But it wasn't that it was a terrible week, it just was, it was just who I was playing. So.
He is, like I said, 5 Swords could be in trouble here if he doesn't do
Yeah.
something, because that ship does have some leaks in it right now.
So anyway, I have me at 4. What do you got?
Number 3 is I had Alaska Glaciers.
Oh, you have him that high.
Like you, I believed in a lot of the things that you said, but I believe that he's going to be trending up. The pitching hasn't been... I think pitching in baseball in general has just been bad. So...
Yeah, it's true.
So I think once his guys that are supposed to be studs start pitching, and he does have some guys that haven't hit yet. I mean, he has a lineup. The question is Bryce Harper going to do this the entire season?
Well, he's not going to hit 400 all season, but yeah, right. I gotcha. My number 3 is actually Ben's Champions, because I have to look at it now, and even though we haven't discussed the last trade that happened with him, because we'll talk about that next week, that was a big trade for him, because that's really going to improve the pitching staff. and his pitching staff, if you look at his pitching numbers, they really weren't terrible.
No.
And I mean, even,
Still giving away 2 pitching categories though.
he is. Although he is trying, he's doing this. He has a strategy with the holds guys.
Yes, he is streaming holds guys.
Yeah, but and the Orioles haven't hit yet. Even though their pitching's been out of this freaking world. I don't know why that's why they're so successful.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, that's why I have him at 3, but he's probably trending upward. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so my surprise top 2, number 2, is I have Bear Bashers. Again, this is a power 6 based on what's happened so far. This doesn't at all reflect how I think the final standings are going to be.
He's making sure you know that is clear.
Yes. These are my current power 6 rankings based on what's going on right now.
Yeah.
As I said, he put on quite a performance in week 2, and week 3, even though he beat up on a team that I have predicted will not finish in the playoffs, he is trending up. He's got a lot of guys that are hot. He's managing his roster well now. But I think he's getting a little too caught up in things that he shouldn't be getting caught up in. And number 2.
What shouldn't I be caught up in? Now I'm worried, and I'm caught up in something I shouldn't be.
Well, I'm not going to tell you because then obviously you'll stop being caught up in it.
Okay. All right. Well, and ironically, my number 2 is the Commish, Team
Yay.
B, because again, even though I beat him in week 2, I mean he would have beat anybody else other than me had he not played me in week 2. I think everything is clicking for him, especially that last week. Just like he said, in week 3, his pitching really went in. I think Lance Lynn's a big guy for you. If Lance Lynn does that all year, that is a big pickup.
If I can get away with, spoiler, a 6-man rotation the entire year,
right? Yeah,
and still win strikeouts using a 6-man staff.
Yeah, which he's done. He even did against. I think the last 2 weeks you've won strikeouts by like 1 or 2, right? Like just one more, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I think overall, and yes, he does have offensive guys who aren't hitting yet, and they will. It's just early. So I have V as the number 2 ranked team.
And trending up.
Well, yeah, I'll give him trending up. That's fine.
My number 1 surprise, and it took me a lot to have to write this down as much as it hates me. My number 1 ranked team right now is Ben's Champions.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
That hurts.
Yes.
Ugh.
Again, this is only based on the first 3 weeks of the season, so don't get excited, Ben. Champions. Everything's clicking. He's making all the right moves. He's starting the guys he's supposed to start, benching the guys he's supposed to be benching. Of course, when you have guys like Billy Hamilton who are hitting 125, it's not that hard of a decision not to play them.
Yeah.
He's gotten some good starting pitching off free agency. He made a trade to bolster his starting pitching staff.
He did.
He has figured out a formula for holds guys. Rest of the league, pay attention. He has a formula for getting holds. I just want to see how long that's going to hold up for the rest of the year. But as of right now, I have him as my number 1.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. My number 1? Do you even have him in the top 6?
He was number 7 for me.
Oh my gosh,
Number
that
7.
is crazy.
Number 7.
My number 1 is still Globo Gym. Because you have to look at the standings.
Wow.
Right now, he's only in 3rd place, I think. Maybe even 2nd place. And one or the other, you know what I mean? And think about how bad his team has been, especially the first 2 weeks.
But think about how bad the teams that he's beaten have been.
Well, he only won 1 matchup, right? Week 3.
And it was a big one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a big
That's
win.
a big...
But he beat Bob. Or, he beat Zips.
He beat Zips, who I also did not have in my top 6. So it was that big of an accomplishment.
I still have Globo Gym at 1 because I think his guys are going to start hitting, and he showed the uptick of what's going to happen in week 3. So, like I said, the Rockies are going to start being Rockies, and those are big guys for him.
Now, I will say that the Kinsler trade will help him, and it will probably move him into my top 6 next week.
Yeah.
But when you're still starting, I couldn't even... Can you tell me who his starting shortstop is?
No.
The last I checked, it was Chris Owings.
You hit a grand slam last night, by the way. But yes. Yeah, I mean, he's not... he's up. Everything's going up for him. That's just the way you got to look at it.
I agree.
Yeah.
But you already have him at the top, so he can't go any higher than 1.
Yeah, but that's what's funny. As bad as his team's been, he's 2 games out of first place. Think about that. That's pretty impressive to be as bad as you were. You know.
Again, it's week 3.
I know.
Everybody's still close except for Murderers Row, who's already hit double digits.
Well, he's only like 10 games back, right?
Of first, yeah.
Yeah, 10 games back at first. Overall, the entire league's pretty close, though. Would you
The
agree?
entire league, oh yeah, so far
Yeah,
it's
I
very
mean,
competitive.
I think it's probably closer than usual after 3 weeks. There's usually more separation.
As I've always said, you can't get blown out. It's okay to
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
It's okay to lose. You can't get blown out.
It's true. Yep.
So, any other surprises? Top 6s, power rankings? I mean, for the most part, we have a lot of the same teams. We did have.
Well, except my number 1 is even in your top 6.
He's number 7. He's on the cusp. He's on the cusp.
Yeah, but yeah, and I didn't do what he did. I didn't rank 7 through 10 because I'm just doing the top 6. If the playoffs started today, these are the 6 best teams I think exist currently as constructed.
I agree, based on week 3.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, I think that's it. What we'll do is that we'll be back here same time, same week next time.
Sounds
All right?
good.
All right. See you later. Bye.